And it spiraled from there. I literally went from that night to it was like jungle drums. Everyone heard about it. So,
literally MD phones just says aye.
basically,
Hannah's a spare time. What's that? Aye, no bother.
Is this you?
He does aye. Something driving by swales on a dairy farm. I tell you.
Is that a joke? No.
no.
Well, it was a joke, aye, but it actually happened. In terms of value, farms and land is so expensive now.
Aye.
Generally speaking, you're better renting.
You bet, yeah, aye. And I think more people need to do that. The blood pressure's bouncing. Like, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But because if you give in anything, Mum knows. She's like, see. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we're all fed by
farmers.
Hello and welcome to the Fed by Farmers podcast with me, Cammy Wilson.
And me, Iona Murray.
We are diving straight in from introduction to interview in this podcast because you may have noticed this one's late.
Yeah, I know.
Why is it late, Iona?
You're a busy man.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it is actually. We've been scanning flat out. It was a really hectic week last week, which held us up. Part of that was the man that's joined us today. We're scanning his sheep as well. There's many people to blame, mainly me, but we've got it out in the same week, which I think is good.
Yeah.
So we thank our sponsors and then get in with the podcast.
Let's do it.
Who are they?
Thank you to Crystalyx and Tracesure by Animax.
So yes, thank you to Crystalyx and Animax for sponsoring the podcast. As always, that is the reason we make these work. Now, you're going to hear more about that later in the podcast. Let's get on to today's guest. He's sitting here listening to us, wondering whether he should speak or not, or come in. It's getting awkward now, Iona, and we're talking like he's not here. Jordan Hibberd, thanks for joining us.
No, thanks for having me.
Tell us a bit about yourself, Jordan. We're going to get into it. It's going to be quite nice and relaxed because Jordan's a pal.
How do you know each other?
How did I first get to know you?
Scanning.
Was it just for scanning?
Who's the guy?
Hugh.
Aye.
Yeah. Where was that at?
Shield Mains.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you come out watching.
Right, okay, yeah. There we go.
Yeah, for there. You were still a Bobby then as well.
Still in the polls. Aye, that's right. To be fair, it's only 4 years in April since I left the police.
Wow.
It's only been 4 years.
That's not
Feels
long.
like a lifetime ago, but aye. But you, speaking of being a police officer, we're just going mad tangents here. What did you do before you were a farmer?
Oh yes, I was a funeral director, undertaker.
Where are you? I am fascinated by undertakers.
Oh right.
Are you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Morbid.
Is that not a bit creepy?
It's weird. We like what we like.
I'm gonna leave now, right?
Yeah. Jordan's actually married. Sorry to ruin it for you. And he's no longer an undertaker.
Yeah.
But yeah, what's your fascination with undertakers?
I just could never imagine doing that job because I think I would be sad all the time.
But see, all the people you work with are crazy. They're such a good laugh. They're so
Are they?
non-morbid. You know, everyone get a straight face. You know, all the time. You know, it's not about that really now. It's, you know, they're all upbeat. But
Yes,
you've
you
got
can
to
level up.
because
Yeah,
you would go insane really. You know.
So what is the job of an undertaker?
Well, it's not from start to finish. You do the lot really. It was quite a lot of pressure. I left school. I'd played golf. I was quite good at golf and I had this plan. I was going to be a professional golfer. Woke up and noticed that no, it's never going to happen. Like, you know, so got a job working with mum and dad's company as a trainee funeral director and started from the bottom. You know, making coffins right the way up. But really, you do everything from meeting the family at the start right through to the end of the funeral. To then maybe doing headstones and everything else. But it's quite in depth, like, but quite a lot of pressure as well because you can't be late. You can't forget anything. Like, you know, you only get one chance. You kind of go, oh, I've mucked it up. We'll redo it tomorrow.
And
you know,
it's the for that family. It's like so like
oh gosh,
the most important day.
But you wouldn't do the speaking bit. You would just do the
you've got a minister
standing looking miserable,
a celebrant. Yeah. Sit at the back sleeping. But you know, but no, there was a lot to it. Like, because you had to make sure you were going to the right place, right time. Remember the flowers?
Could you imagine me doing it?
Oh my goodness, you'd be the worst undertaker
With the wrong place
ever. You would be so bad. You'd have the wrong body.
Texting there in 10 minutes, but I'm already half an hour late. yeah. Oh, it was shocking.
But no, it was a good job. Good job. A lot of pressure because you've got to do it right.
Yeah.
You know,
but good money as well. I mean, it's good money. I've never seen a poor undertaker.
It was good money. Good money for
Take
the
it
age I was.
your mum and dad are loaded.
No, poor.
Poor?
On the breadline, you know.
Okay, right, sarcasm.
Brown
I like
rice and
that.
vegetables, like, you know.
Sarcasm. That's what you want for your
That's
undertaker.
how loaded he is.
Aye, that's
yeah.
what you want for your undertaker. Sarcasm. At a time like this.
I wish. I wish.
No,
I wouldn't have became a farmer then, would I?
aye, well, yeah, true, but then it does seem like a bloody miserable, like mentally it seems like a bloody tough job.
Training,
Aye,
yeah.
Training.
but seeing being able to help people, you know, through a difficult time, you got kind of
Yeah.
reward from that, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
Um,
At one point in my life, I thought about doing that. Would you call them celibate?
Celebrant, aye.
Celibate.
Dude, I signed up for a course
To be celibate. Celibate. To be a celibate.
to be like to say the
Celebrant.
bit humanist.
Humanist.
A humanist.
A
Aye,
humanist.
okay.
Non-religious, really. And,
Yeah.
You know, just.
Aye.
But they were good because, not I'm religious in any way, but it was about the person. I was all
Yes.
for them because some of these services, it could be a bit more about kind of God and whatever else, and you get 2 minutes of the person. I love to sit there and be,
Hear
that's
their
what they've done.
story.
And
Mhm, good story.
yeah, great
Yeah.
story, aye, you know, because I used to sit at the back, listen in, what have you, and they were great.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you got a bit better picture, you know.
I take it to certain humanists or whatever, and you're like, oh, this guy again, or was there some?
No, there were certain people were great. You
Aye.
always used to get them because they did it well.
Oh,
and they-
you
organised
lined
it,
them
Ken.
up?
Aye, so basically, you know, during the arrangements, you would say what they were wanting. It was humanist or a priest or a minister or whatever, and you would organise it. Priests and ministers, but it was on the parish, so where you stayed, kind of thing. But a humanist, it could be anyone or
Yeah,
a
okay.
non-religious
Right,
celebrant.
okay,
you know.
yeah.
So there were certain ones that were really good and bring a bit of banter, and you knew were fitting for that family. There were certain ones you would think, these may be a bit too much. We'll go with somebody
Yeah.
else, like, you know. But no, certain ones were better or more favoured.
It was a good earner, I think. Like I
For a
looked, I
humanist?
genuinely looked into it
Oh,
at
it
one
was
point.
like- I
Well,
think-
do you know what it was? Do you know what it was? I say I looked into it. It was after I got the bill for the guy that did my dad's. I was like, "Pfft, I could do that.
I think
Yeah.
Half an hour's work. You
Yeah.
know?
I've been away now 10 years roughly, and I think it was about £120 for half an hour. Obviously, they've got to go meet the family and time
yeah,
with them
yeah,
as
right.
well.
I think it was more like 200 odd quid. I think at the time when, and that would be 9 years ago.
But right, you've been robbed.
So I have been bumped. I was at my most vulnerable. He saw me coming. But I know, like, I remember just thinking, God. And the guy was doing like 3 or 4 a day.
Oh, aye.
Like, just run about doing that all the time.
Aye.
I wonder how many times I get the name wrong. I bet they have it in like absolute massive
Massive.
bold.
font,
I remember.
yeah.
I remember the script they've got. You know, they had it. Everyone had a certain folder for, you know, the certain person it was. Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It
so
would need to be
and the
kept
name
so
would be like
separate.
massive.
Gosh, yeah.
Do
just
not-
imagine you announced the wrong name.
Oh
like,
my goodness, you'd never
like-
recover.
Style it out.
Carol-
oh, sorry.
Carol
Oh,
Vorderman.
sorry, that's my 11:30. We're here for wee Jimmy.
Carol Vorderman is a humanist. You
Is
can
that
book
right?
her.
No,
You can.
honestly.
Yep.
she'll be definitely more than £200.
Aye.
Aye.
I wonder how much Carol Vorderman is for an hour.
Oh, you
for
know what
an
I'm
hour and
like
a
with
half.
names? I really hope it is her. I'm sure
I
it's
could
her.
believe Carol Vorderman.
I'm sure it's her.
Although I've never seen it. I follow her on Instagram,
Right,
but
okay.
I've never seen it. So
I'll
maybe-
fact check it, but
Okay,
I'm pretty
we'll
sure.
fact check. But anyway, that's enough about funeral
Aye.
directing. So you did a bit of that. How did you end up in the farming?
Well, I'd always farmed as well. So when we left school, obviously wanted to farm, but wasn't kind of good money then. You know, we were basically where
Is
we
it
stayed.
good money now? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's
Don't lie to us.
No.
We know much.
Can
Eh,
I
a lot of
just
farmers
ask Jordan,
listening.
so is there any link to farming?
No, we stayed in a small holding.
Right, okay.
In West Kilbride, and we're kind of tatty pickers and that. My dad, going back, used to own the Fiddler's nightclub in Largs.
Oh.
Sold it when I was like 16, like, you know, younger than that.
I thought you could get in. Oh, you could get in then maybe a
Amazing,
bit.
you know what I mean? But sold that, was involved in the Brisbane Hotel, and then he left from that to go into funeral directing.
Right.
My mum was in Mbama, so she then went into it as well. So they both worked there. So that's the kind of background. But me and my brother always went to farm.
Right.
You know, where we stayed then, we were doing tatty picking. That was a big thing in West Kilbride, you know, had to be a tatty picker, you know. But wee brother went farming up north, and I stayed at home and thought funeral directing was the way. It was great because it did give me a chance to build up my own stock, you know, and get rented ground and what have you. But then it got bigger and bigger. And there was times, you know, I was doing funerals, I would go and check my sheep and my suit and what have you, you know, and
Yeah.
then come back in to do another funeral, you know, and then go back to sheep. But it got to the stage where it was getting more and more, and I'd asked a secondment for my work, and they said no. And I said, that's fine, I'm going to hand my notice in. They went, nah. Well, the next day I did. I just thought, I wanted to make the break. I was at the age where I was like, did I do it? You know, or did I not? And I just went for it. And I've never looked back, really. You know.
That's amazing.
Oh, so you weren't working for your mum and dad at that time?
Yeah, no, so I was part of the co-op then, funeral
Okay,
care.
okay.
Mum and dad were still working of another company, Dignity, at that
Right,
time.
okay.
So I just decided that was it, where we're going. and went for it. Never really looked back.
And what sort of stock numbers did you have at that point?
Oh, it was only like 200, 250,
Right.
you know, small kind of thing. But it was working.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, I used to go in my way to work from, I'd leave the house, go to Shield Mains, check my sheep, lambing the sheep, and go to work, get a shower and put my suit on. And then
Go back.
go in between funerals as well. And it worked fine, like, you know.
Yeah.
It was always a kind of common joke, like, you know, where's he going now with the top hat on, like, you know.
Aye.
But no, I just decided enough. I've always wanted to be a farmer, you know, but I was a young boy, money, cars, women. I thought that was the best thing. But then you grow up a wee bit and think, no, I just want to farm. You know, the lifestyle and what have you. So just, went for it. And 10 years down the line, here I am now, still farming away.
Still wanting to farm.
Crystalyx Extra High Energy Feed Blocks have been providing high energy supplementation to ewes, lambs and rams in the UK since 1978. Packed full of protein, vitamins, minerals and trace elements, Crystalyx Extra High Energy has been proven to increase live lamb numbers and improve lamb daily live weight gain at a cost of only 4 to 7 pence per ewe per day. To view the full Crystalyx range and find your nearest stockist, visit crystalyx-global.com.
Still want to farm. Still hobby farming, like, you know what I mean?
But all right, okay, that's quite a good story. Pretty similar to myself then, in the way things have worked out. But you're at your 250 sheep, but just leaving a job, how much do you get paid for being an undertaker?
It would be good. You made your money in your overtime. You did on call, and that was what made up your time. So at that time,
you called out. What do they call it? A private ambulance?
Yeah, kind of similar to that. Yeah. So at that time, I was actually working at a dairy farm. I stayed in a dairy farm in Kilmarnock, and basically I got my cottage for milking at the weekends, which was great. But I remember times milking and getting a phone call, Jordan, such and such. I'm like, yeah, right, okay, how many cows I've got left to milk before I could go, like, you know,
right?
You know. But a lot of people, like ministers, they all knew what I'd done anyway, like, you know. So you still milking the cows? Aye. So about an hour and a half, like, you know. So and quick change in a way, like, you know. But it was good, like, you know. So,
well, that's why they ones. I suppose they're not going anywhere anyway. So it's like,
that's true.
What's an extra half hour?
True.
You know what I mean? Used to know me when I was in the police. We used to obviously deal with private ambulances and undertakers quite a lot, like waiting for them to come, and brutal job.
Well, that was
brutal.
So I did that I was with Dignity before I went to co-op, and that was the main kind of job there, and that's where you would make money when I was younger. Young daft, work all night, doing the kind of police work. But I was quite naive, like, you know, I hadn't really seen a lot about drugs and what have you. I was just a wee country boy that lived in a small holding and never really knew much about it, so it was an eye-opener. But that's where I made some money when I was younger, you know, but how can you do it now?
But so, I mean, obviously, it's one of those weird things, actually, just thinking about it, and I never really think about it that much, but like, yeah, I suppose most people in the general public don't see that many dead bodies, but like, I've seen hundreds of them. And you'll have seen even more, I would say. But it's quite a surreal thing, and I used to always be so grateful that the undertakers, they dealt with unless it was don't get me wrong, I dealt with a murder one time, and then we have to do just for evidence and everything that we have to do the bagging and all the stuff that's involved with that when it's a murder, but that was different. But generally speaking, deaths, even where it's unexplained deaths, the undertakers would do the bagging and all that, and like, that's grim, because like, well, when people die, their bills release and all sorts of stuff. Like, there's
not pleasant.
they get rigid in awkward positions, and you have to straighten them out and get them laid down. And then the high-rise flat, and they'd have to bring them downstairs. And
like, you can only
you know, the sweat lashing off you. Like,
you can only think some of the people you see about 20 or plus stone, they've got to come. And I mean, I'm no strong person, but I mean, it was backbreaking. You know, round these corners of stairs, and
oh gosh,
I do remember having to help the guys on more than one occasion lift the folk downstairs because they were so just big. And quite often there's a lot of, not any knocking to any women involved in the industry, but there's a lot of women in the industry too. And obviously, women's fantastic in all regards, but especially the compassion side of things and emotional side of things as well. But when it's a 20-stone guy to lift, it just comes back down to brute strength.
That's it. I mean, some men, you can do it. You know, it's... but no, it was a good job. Something different. And people used to say to me, oh, how can you do that? You know, I used to go into the office to do paperwork and that, and, you know, you're 20, you know, dead, and you know, kind of stories and what have you. And it's not scary. No, why would it scare you? I'm more scared of the living than the dead, like.
I don't think it would scare me.
Did it never bother you? You don't think seeing loads of dead people would bother you?
No, I would hate that. But I just mean it wouldn't scare me, them being like having 20 dead bodies in the building.
No.
Like that.
I tell you what is scary though, and what used to scare me is So we'd quite often get like a concern for person call. So somebody's not been seen for 2 or 3 days. And like we are so removed from, in farming in general, we're so removed from what it's like out there in the city. Like a lot of folk, drug users and stuff, are on pay-as-you-go meters. So generally speaking, by the time somebody notices they haven't been doing their usual routine or whatever, their meter's expired because they're always running. They're literally just putting a fiver on it at a time. So we'd be going to houses in the dark, no bloody electricity.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, and like you're going about the house with your phone torch,
That's actually terrifying.
knowing that you're about to see a dead body. It's highly likely you're about to see a dead body somewhere.
Yeah.
But what is it? But where is it? And I remember doing one in Glasgow, Townhead in Glasgow, which is where the film Still Game. And it was so sad. It was our pharmacist had phoned in saying that she hadn't been. Nobody else phoned in. Just our pharmacist noticed she hadn't been for a couple of days and was worried about her. This is for getting methadone because she's a drug user. Anyway, up to the house, you're fairly sure it is what it is, especially when you getting the powers off. So looking about, no sign here. So totally relaxed, going, oh, no, that. Open the kitchen door. Lying in the kitchen, I could have, honestly, I think I gave that a wee, one of those, my, just totally caught me out because I totally relaxed thinking, all right, she's
fine.
Because usually it's in the bed or something in the living room, and there she was. That was so sad.
It was just you saw everything. You thought you'd seen it all at one time. I actually remember going to one, and you always knew when the police were sitting outside there was something dodgy. And the funny part before that was I started this quite young because obviously mum and dad were doing it, and I used to go out with my dad and help him, but it got to the stage where they kind of what knew, and dad used to just send me. So dad would get a call at 1 in the morning, go, yeah, no bother, that's fine, come and get him. To come down to me, right, son, you've got a call out. Dad would go back to his bed, so I'm my way out. But I heard her, with rubbish. And I remember going to this house, you couldn't get in. It was like table high with rubbish. And I can still picture it now. I couldn't really understand. I mean, there was a mattress and literally a walkway round, and I mean, it was sky high. There must have been years upon years of rubbish.
Yeah.
Did you ever do any rotten ones?
There was quite a lot.
We did one time in Maryhill in Glasgow where the downstairs neighbour phoned it in because there was maggots coming through the light fitting. And I've dealt with, and we can all pretend we're tough guys and all that. I've dealt with maggoted, rotten sheep and all that. We know how bad that smells. But just something about it being a human. And just the flat it was an alcoholic person. The flat was a mess and everything, and just it was just that was traumatic. Like that was rough. That was really rough. I had another one where they dug half ate the guy too.
Right, okay, Jordan, how did you go from 250 sheep?
You're right. It's more.
Well, obviously moved on and really just progressed from there, really.
So what was that step? So you handed in your notice.
I handed my notice. I went and worked for Sifan Estate, Montgomery Farms.
Right.
I was there for a while, and then there was a kind of change in farming policy, and I was the last in, first out, paid off. That was fine. So I remember actually getting paid off. The fact I come up and says, Jordan, you need to let you go. Right, no bother. And you know what way I thought, Christ, I've got a wife and a young kid. My firstborn was 4 or 5 months old, and I thought, oh no, what do I do? And I thought, so when I pondered a bit, I says, well, I'll need to kind of down tools. I'll need to go and try and find a job, ASAP. So I remember going home, and Vicky, my wife, says, what are you doing home? I said, we've got a meeting, and just get a shower because I'm stinking and that. Got a shower, jumped in the pickup, and I just drove Kilmarnock all around to people I knew, farmers, saying, I'm available for work and what have you. I never get anything. I'm driving back. Oh no. And a nice guy used to do help out with fencing, Fred Curry, phones me. Fred, he says, Jordan, can you get to Stair? He says, the guy needs you to drive for silage. I says, right, no bother. I'll just turn right round, and away I went. And I phoned the wife at that point and says, right, this is what's happened, but I'm going to work.
Got your solution.
And it spiraled from there. I literally went from that night to it was like jungle drums. Everyone heard about it. Paid off. Another guy phoned me, can you come milk the cows in the morning? Yeah, no bother. Went from there, and it just spiraled out. It just from there just went from one thing to another to getting kind of more consistent work.
Yep.
And it was great. I ended up down, guy from up North Stuart Annan, great guy, phoned me up and he says, I've taken on a kind of contract farm, but I'm still between the Highlands, and could you go down, take over kind of thing. I was down at East Kirkcaswell, Patsy Gilroy's place at Wickerman Festival, shepherding down there. So I used to go down, I used to milk into weekends, milk on a Monday, and then just drive down first thing a Tuesday morning, stay down there till Friday or Saturday, depending. And it was a great experience, running about 2,500 ewes.
Wow.
So just went from there, been self-employed for nearly 10 years.
That's like a kind of a good example of, you know, how you always say about making your own luck.
100%.
And that, like, there, so you took that had just happened, and what you do that you...
Yeah, I mean, I had to find something. You know, if it was doing whatever, labourer, I would have done it, you know, because I had to make money, I had a wife and kid to support, so I just went out there. But I went from, tractor driving, milking cows, sheep work, cattle work, and I've never really looked back. You know, and never,
flat out ever since.
I never had to look for work. You know, that way you're always thinking, am I going to have to phone about? But it's amazing, the phone keeps phoning all the time. Oh, Jordan, can you do this? Can you do that? And just went from there.
So what sort of things is it you're doing?
I was milking cows.
Sorry, now?
So now, so I've got my own farm, Floors Farm at Comores, got a tenancy there. I'm a feed advisor, sales rep for Norvite Feeds. And farm manager for South Annan Estate.
Wow.
So
literally MD phones, just says aye.
basically,
Hannah's a spare time. What's that? Aye, no bother.
Is this you?
He does. Aye. He does.
rubbing off a cameo.
He does 4 morning milkings every day.
I wish. There was going the days where I used to do one milking at Grassmill side, and then used to go to where Floors am now, John Duckworth, and then do his milking in the morning. You know, but
mate, I think it's a good example of like
It is.
you make, like you're saying, make your own luck. Like there's a lot of people desperate to get into farming, and like I'm just a big believer. You get about, knock your pan in, work, network, let folk know what you're wanting to do. Like,
But even that, you laid your cards on the table that day. You'd been made redundant. You didn't go hiding away in the house thinking this or that. You got in the car and then you got out there and made something happen.
It was amazing how Jungle Drums just phone started going.
Yeah.
well, everyone wants somebody to milk cows. Don't they?
Well, that's it. And I remember sitting, I was waiting, there was another tractor in front of me, and I was waiting to tip, and the phone went, who's this? And it was Alfie Hogarth, who I'd milked for before. He paid off. You know, he milked in the morning. And this was like midnight. You know, I mean, I think I got home at like 1:30, turned around, you know, left about 4 or 5 o'clock to go and milk in the morning. But it was great, you know, and it just went from there to another person. And then you see people in the market. Oh, are you self-employed now? I am. Oh, you could do this and do that for me. You know, and it just, before you knew it, you were working 7 days a week, easily,
Amazing.
you know. So it was great.
And when did you get your tenancy?
So just over a year ago.
Right.
Got my tenancy of Floors Farm, which was a dairy farm before, and I put sheep on it. I think everyone's disgraced, like, you know.
Swales to those swales on it.
Have you?
Aye.
Not many of them left now.
Some thing driving by swales on a dairy farm. I tell you.
Is that a joke? No.
No.
Well, it was a joke, but it actually happened.
I tell you what, you should see the lambs that come out of that. Just over a year ago. So
Right, okay.
It was very hush hush. I didn't even get a chance to tender for it. Just gone. Jordan
So
had it sewn up.
who you know, isn't it?
A lot of it is. I don't know it's true.
Yeah. That's not
I'd
something to be negative.
No.
like,
No,
it's-
make your own luck.
You know, I
100%.
worked for John Duckworth for many years, and he said that, you know, he was going to retire at a certain age, and I'd voiced I was, you know, keen. But initially, the owner, who I do work for now as well, had said that we were going to split it up. And I was just like, no, don't split it up. You know, I knew it inside out, drains, everything, and eventually they came round to, yes, you know, you can have it, you know, and what have you. Took a bit
Well,
of
it
work.
wasn't quite you can have it. You have to pay for it.
I've got to pay for it. Oh, of course,
Aye. Quite dear.
Aye. Well,
How much was it? There's a lot. Everyone always gossips about it. How much was it?
I had people saying to me about 60,000, but nah,
Oh, okay. How much is it?
it's a lot.
And then we can break down how you justify it.
It's 30,000 a year,
30,000, right? And how many acres is it?
150.
150, right? Plus there's a house on it,
House,
big sheds.
big sheds, slatted sheds.
I'm right now, and I know folk will say I bought it, but it's still we've got to make it pay. I'm 65,000 a year for 16 acre. There you go. So you know that like
No.
Ken-
It was a difficult one because we had to sit down and try and work out, right, how are we
Yeah.
going to make this work? It's not going to happen off a 400 ewes and 150 acre.
yeah.
And I didn't have the money to put a dairy back on, buy cows. Did I really want to milk my own cows? No, not really. You can milk for somebody else and get paid for it, you know?
Yeah.
But I had to look at the space in the sheds and say, right, well, I can bed and breakfast cattle here, some storage here. And I mean, I've got to do this flyball, half the silage sheds, flyball, kind of run off the ball kind of thing.
How you Collie Dogs chase the ball to a thing and back.
And they get half the silage shed. And
So it was Flyball like a company?
No,
it's a sport. It's a sport.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
there's a wee wall. It's like a wee wall you stick a ball to.
Yeah,
It's like Velcro.
yeah.
You stick the ball to it and Doug runs and
I think it's
gets it, comes
timed
back.
as well. It seems to be more to it because I couldn't really
It's
understand
like a
it
relay,
first.
isn't it?
Yeah,
You jump
yeah.
over wee hurdles, grab the ball, run back.
Right, okay.
So it's mostly collies, I think. 'Cause collies
Well, I've seen all sorts like there, you know.
Really?
And a couple of kind of like lurchers and what have you, and
okay,
like bullets, like, you know.
And
But
do they do that just like once a week or something?
twice, well, 3 times a week, Tuesday,
Right.
Thursday, and a Saturday. I never really see them. You know, they come in Tuesday and Thursday at night. It's away around the back of the farm. They go in and do their thing, and a Saturday morning. You know, and we actually held last year. They asked about a show. I said, right. So the big lambing shed was quite good because you actually get everything all cleared out. I should have phoned my QMS and said, "Can we do an inspection?"
Got a Doug show on Saturday.
It was immaculate, you know,
Aye.
Virgie's cut and everything. But yeah, so they camped for kind of 3 days and had this teams from Aberdeen and everywhere come down.
No way.
And it was hilarious because quite a few of the boys, I think people were kind of asking because you could see all these caravans parked and all that.
Yeah.
And Jungle Drum's going big time, like. And one of the boys phoned me and he says, "Wait, you get gypsies in there?" No. But it was great. They had not vending machines, you know, the kind of burger vans and coffee van, and it was great banter, you know.
Yeah.
So, but it was just another thing to help pay the bills,
Finance it,
tidy
yeah.
the place up.
Yep.
You know, it was great, you know. So, but no, it's working. Still there a year later.
But, yeah, I think a lot of people, you know, probably hear that rent and think, "Oh, it's good." But I think for years rents have been so low
Yeah.
compared to, say, buying a farm or anything. Like secure tenancy rents generally are like wild low. So I think we have a misconception of, because like the power you have when you have a base like you've got there, you know, big indoor silage pits, big lambing shed, big house, all the stuff that comes with it, all the ground.
Aye.
I mean, dairy ground.
Aye, dairy ground. Aye, that's the thing. You
Aye.
know.
Yeah, I mean, and straight away, I mean, your sub will be 10 grand plus straight back. Like, I think to me it's a no-brainer. Like,
Yeah.
I'd pay it. If anybody thinks it's crazy, I'd pay it too.
No, it works. Like, and last year it was obviously again in December, so it was a kind of mad rush of like I had cross shows, tucked them at one bit, and it was a bit of a kind of mad rush to try and make it work. I had to buy in stock some older ewes. So this is really just the first year I've got everything how I want it.
Yeah.
Lamb in February. We've got my own silage. I'm not having to buy in everything, so I'm hoping this year's going to be even better. Because last year, hey, it was a good year. Trade was amazing. You know, we can't knock it. But I had to go into buying a lot more stuff. You know, everything was kitted out for cattle, fences. You know, David Cooper's been fencing for, 2,000-3,000 metres of netting to make it stock proof, because there's nothing worse. You put sheep in a field, they're no there a day later, you know.
And how long's the tenancy? Did we say that?
So initially it's 5 years, but it's just a continuous.
How often does it renew? Every
5 years.
Oh, but it must renew before you get to the end of it,
Yeah,
not? So like, will it be like when you're at 2 years, will you bump it up again, or will it just literally be 5 years go again?
Well, I'm told. I've asked Miles many times. You know, but he says I can have it as long as I want. He says so.
Okay, yeah.
So no, hopefully I'll go into plan. I mean, really, it's not really about them. I'm hoping I can build it up, you know, and have something for my kids.
Aye.
I'm not really looking to cash in and
as in build it up to go to somewhere to build some, you know, buy something else.
No. I wouldn't move from there. I'm quite happy. 400 jows.
Yeah.
Quite content.
Yeah.
I'd love to go bigger, but no, I'm quite happy with that. And other things I do, I'd love to see my kids take it on, you know, and then I can just be the annoying dad that's in the way, you know, Dad, you're in the wrong way, you know, and going about my buggy kind of thing. Like that's my kind of goal. Like, you know, that's
you'll be at the golf, mate. You'll be on the over 50s tour.
Yeah,
doing it brassy. But no, it's I do think the reality is, in the modern world with tenancies, unless you're very lucky, and in some ways you were lucky there, of course, but again, you made your own luck. I absolutely agree with that. But you put something like that to the open market, like it's cutthroat now. Like tenancies are like.
I think there needs to be more of them.
It's better. Renting a farm is probably better than buying a farm.
Yeah, yes, to an extent.
Like with the price of farms,
price
it's not better. Obviously, owning it is better.
Yeah.
But what I mean is, in terms of value, farms and land is so expensive now. Generally speaking, you're better renting.
And I think more people need to do that, because you hear of so many people's sons and daughters don't want to take the farm on. They'll just plod along. I mean, if I didn't have my kids coming on, I'd be more than happy to say, like, some young guy, I'm maybe say my 60s and a young guy's keen, say you're back in your 20s, you're mad keen.
Yeah.
I'd be like, here, let's do a wee deal.
Yeah.
Keep me enough going and see. And I would get so much joy seeing you come on.
Yeah.
What's the point in sitting there let the place go to wreck and ruin
Yeah.
and everything? You know, and I feel there's too much of that. I feel there's too many farmers are just sitting on it, you know, and not letting the net. Because we're going to come 10, 15 years down the line, there's hardly going to be any young or farmers coming on, you know. And
it's a good point.
Yeah.
But one issue I think we've had in the past few years, and again, this will upset people too, but I'm going to say it anyway, is that there's too many tenants' rights. So everybody's terrified to rent out.
yeah, so that's right. Aye.
Like,
aye.
you know, it's like the nonsense of this, what's the thing when you need to have a break? If it's like, you can't be on for 365 days a year, you've got to have at least
that's right. Aye, because then
a week's break, because then you've got permanent.
aye.
What a nonsense. Bin that rule. Like, why should the tenant have that right? You know,
What is that rule?
There's like some daft rule.
Aye, so it's like over a year. You can almost like claim,
If you continuously
tenants' rights kind of thing. Is that right?
There's some mad thing. If you continuously stock it for a year, it's like you have some right on it. I'm not sure what it is,
Right, okay,
because it's
just
so
something
ridiculous.
Because a lot of my
It would never even be on my radar. But
325 days. You know,
Yeah.
that was it.
Oh,
you know,
right. Okay, it can be the
if you ever
full
get a
year.
written lease, it'll be split.
Right. Okay.
But it's absolutely ridiculous. It has to be that way. Like, so whoever's brought that rule in, get that bin for a start, because it just makes it hard for people to rent. They're
of
always
course,
worried
aye.
about getting done.
Yeah.
And there's other you know, issues like that. It sounds ridiculous, and I know it's not good if you're a sitting tenant, but for people trying to get into the industry, actually slightly less tenants' rights might make more ground available.
yes, definitely.
It'll go the same for rented houses.
Yeah.
They're screaming now. Glasgow City Council is now desperate for folk to rent their houses out or to sell any empty houses, because they've hammered the landlords so much now, and landlords can't get bad payers out or tenants out. Nobody wants to buy property to rent anymore.
No.
So there's no affordable like for people that can't afford to pay the mortgage. There's now nowhere to rent
Yeah.
because they've gave so many rights to the tenants.
Aye.
But
That's
no-
ridiculous. Aye.
They've all said, to hell we were not doing it, and now they're like, oh, there's no houses. Why
Oh,
is
it
that?
would definitely put you'd be less inclined, like, you know, to rent out. But I think there needs to be more of it. There's so much, you know, yourself driving about ground, you know, and you know the people, and you say to them, nah, you know, we'll just let it go, you know. And then
But does
before you know it-
subsidy have a factor on that?
of course it does. You sit there, own land that's been passed down over generation, and you take in a nice wee sub. Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
You know, definitely. So
I agree with you. But
I maybe get shot down for saying that, but no, there is.
you've
there
got to be
is.
careful what we say about these kind of
You
things,
know.
absolutely. But I agree with you to some extent there that it does, because it's based on owned acres rather than production or any other kind of metric. But that's going to change over the next few years too,
Aye, there's a lot of
which
changes
might
ahead.
shake the whole thing up.
Do other countries get sub?
I don't think so.
Just
I don't think so. I could be wrong in that too, though, because other European countries
There'll
must
be
get
something.
some.
There'll be something.
Aye,
Yeah.
actually, because it came from the EU, so European
Oh, it
countries
did.
must get sub.
Must be
Aye,
something.
I just think no in my head there, because we're constantly hearing it from the New Zealand and Aussie guys and stuff.
Who don't.
Who don't. I don't think Americans do either, but again, I could be wrong.
But a lot
Somebody
of more
watching this
relaxed
can tell
rules
us.
in that as well, like, you know, in these other countries.
They're more relaxed.
Aye.
I bet ours is pretty relaxed.
You think?
The subsidy in this
Oh,
country.
subsidy. I mean subsidy, but I mean, like, you know, in New Zealand, can you imagine digging a dead hole and putting a dead stock in it? You know,
yeah. Things are very different in New Zealand compared to here, but yeah, that's a whole other thing altogether. But like, they are going to change the sub in the next few years. There's no doubt about it. I don't know how. We've got the NFU conference. This is going out on Friday. I'll be there on Thursday, and it's like we'll see what the crack is there.
Yeah.
But I don't even really know. The First Minister's going to do a speech,
right.
but nothing's really been decided. Somebody said a good thing. They thought, Scotland, of all the devolved nations, Scotland's probably got it the best now.
Yeah.
Although some people are really doing well out these SFIs, I believe, but down south. But Scotland probably has it the best now in the fact it's not changed. But someone made a good point to me, is that just because the Scottish government's so useless, they're so useless they can't get anything organised to make a decision what they're going to do. But long may that continue.
Exactly.
Let them deal with the boats and the NHS and all that, and just let us work away. But
Yeah.
I think there's a good buzz about farming
Oh gosh, aye.
right
Aye,
now.
oh,
Right now,
Aye.
despite inheritance tax.
Aye, trade's phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, trade is great. You know, and I think it will happen the same again this year. The boys will be killing their ewe hogs because the trade's that good.
Yeah.
It's going to make breeding stock more expensive again back end this year. But I think it's good. And I've said to a couple of boys, that, you know, that work with us, and that if you can stick into farming for the next 10 years, I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good.
I was there at Ayr yesterday watching.
I heard you in for your lunch, you know.
I just sat in for lunch. But no, I like to see some cattle getting sold just to see what the hype's about. You know, these beef cattle sales. It's probably the first breeding cow sale I've ever. I must have been to one before, but I can't really think of it. Anyway, busy. It was absolutely packed, man. 2 rings going, fat cattle ring and the breeding ring at Ayr this is. And I was speaking to a boy who bought a beast in October. A beast is a cow. Well, it's not a cow, it's a bullock in this instance. In October for £1,300, which back then everybody was saying far too dear. Stores are far too dear. Bought it for £1,300 in October. Sold it yesterday, which was 2nd of February, whatever it was, for $2,300.
That's some markup, isn't it?
Good turnaround, eh? 3 months.
And even if you were feeding
Quite 4 months.
even if you're feeding that again, £300, say it's still a lot of money in that.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big.
Yeah.
How much would it cost to feed a beast? You do Norvite. How much does it cost to feed?
Oh, it could vary. Like if you're feeding it 4 or 5 kilo a day, maybe 6 kilo a day. But I mean, say a ton, you're £300. You know,
So would it eat a ton in 4 months?
Depends.
But 4 kilo a day, 4 kilo. Let's say 4 kilo a
100
day
days.
times 30 is 120 kilo over 4 months.
120 kilo over 4 months. That's
480.
Quite 500, so
kilo.
half a ton.
Half
So
a ton.
but it's only going to eat 150 quid a feed.
Well, you get a silage as well on top of that in straw.
That's
maybe.
even cheaper than feeds, it no?
Oh, well, if you're making your own, yeah, if you're making your own, but there is a cost. You've got to factor that
Yeah.
in. But I mean, it's a phenomenal markup.
Oh, so he's done
Oh,
that. And it doesn't always happen now because the stores are dearer again.
They're going to be
That same store's probably 1,800 quid now. I don't know. It's
but
crazy.
I mean, the cattle are not there. You know, and
Are they not?
No, I mean, cattle numbers are down big time. Suckler numbers. You've seen the Scottish Farmer saying again that suckler cow numbers were down. You know, it's
We've got real danger with critical mass they talk about for things like abattoirs. And not so much markets, I don't think, because the markets are pretty strong now. And we've less and less markets than we ever had. But with things like abattoirs, if there's not enough cattle to kill and hang up, then it's hard to justify all the full-time staff. Like, they need to be going every day
Yeah.
to justify the full-time staff and the whole process of running the building, the business rates, everything that comes with a big building and a big organisation. And if there's no cattle here, because I think Martin Kennedy maybe said that when he was in for a podcast, there's one big issue we have is there's so many English buyers buying our cattle, which takes them out of the Scottish system in terms of abattoirs and markets.
Yeah.
Like, great for us as Scottish vendors, we've got these buyers coming up to buy
Yeah.
them as stores. Absolutely fantastic. I'm not knocking MD buying them, but it's just something else to think about, that
Of
all those
course,
cattle that go
they're
south
going.
aren't going through slaughterhouses up here.
You think all these farms you see in the Scottish Farmer or whatever for sale, they would have had 100 suckler cows plus.
Yeah.
Where are they now? You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that comes back to the argument that they've changed the beef calf scheme here. They've brought in new regulations. What is it? A cow's got to calve every 400 and something days, or you
it
don't.
wouldn't be very kind of practical, the cow, if it wasn't. You know,
I agree with that, and there's merits for it, and I see why they've done it. But people would add that to the argument of that's the reason why folk are getting rid of so many cattle. So we had a mass that and the price.
Yeah.
You know, cull cow price was huge. So we've had a mass clear out of cull and probably inefficient cows, which is probably what they wanted. But we will see a knock-on effect from that too. The numbers
and it's like the same with the sheep. Obviously, people killing new hogs. We're not getting all those breeding yows or gimmers, you know, in forward sales. Like,
what about is this a good time to get into cattle? Why are you not doing it?
Infrastructure, handling. Like, I've got B&B cattle, but it's quite a lump of money out.
To buy cattle, you mean?
Well, if I buy 20 cattle, it's 20 odd grand.
Oh, at least.
I'll overdraft even more.
If you buy 20 in calf cows, it's going to be like 50 grand.
Oh, mega, aye. And then you've got to hope that cow calves. Then you've got the calf for 10 months. And then you get like the ammonia on the back end. But I still get that with sheep. Like, but if you lose a cow, it's maybe 150 quid, no £1,000.
Yeah.
Like,
What made you go for the swales?
no, just going to hand the money at the time. Aye.
Is that so? What have you got of your own stock?
So it's about 160 cross yows to the, well, usually just the Texel, but this year I went to Suffolk because I'm looking for a different avenue for selling my like Suffolk meal cross ewe lambs.
Right.
And a customer, Stephen Cowald in England, he's got a farm in New Zealand, and he said, "Oh, you need to try a Hampshire." I've got a Hampshire. Never ever thought of that before. And he says, "Fat enough for fresh air." That's like a great sales pitch. Well, I fell for it anyway, so I bought a Hampshire and I put 40 to the Hampshire. So, so 160 cross yows roughly, lamb in February, and then 240s, kind of blackies to the blue.
Right.
I think Matt at Cassington uses a Hampshire.
I think it is, yeah.
And I've heard that there's a few folk down ashore, a bit down south. There's a couple of places we went to with Hampshires as well. Early lambers.
Right. Okay.
Good for that job.
Yeah.
Seems like they're very, very good for, fattening.
Do you need to lamb them inside?
All the cross shivs are inside. Aye. So they've been back.
need to be
since
December
February,
as
yeah,
well.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, so and then go for the kind of ewe lamb, mule ewe lamb kind of trade. That's what I'm kind of going for. Out the blackies, nothing gets kept, buying everything replacements wise.
Right.
I have got winter grazing, but I use that for the cross ewes, just to kind of give floors a bit of a rest. You know?
And why don't you keep your own females? Too expensive. Like
Expensive
it's the
to run
cash flow.
round.
It's cash flow.
It's cash flow. Aye, sell them.
And it's one of these things that once you're in the system, like the first year I did it, keeping my own females, it just seemed like madness because you're in debt and you're needing the money. But it's like, I just always remember something to say to me, it's the cheapest way of getting a female.
But is it at times like you've got your winter costs, dozing?
I still think it is. Well, maybe not now that now that fat lambs are worth as much as they are. Probably not, because if that lamb's worth 180 quid, but then if you're getting off 180 quid, you're probably keeping it in March.
Yeah, that's true.
And once you're at
almost
March,
get to there.
once you're at March, you can easily keep her to September for turning again. You know,
true.
So I don't know. The benefit is as well, you breed them the way you want.
Yeah, definitely.
You know where they're
closed
been.
flock. Aye, that's for sure. I mean, it's a big risk, but I've only got 150 acre. I need every blade of grass I can.
Yeah.
And
So
then
buy gimmers,
buy
old
gimmers.
cows.
Last year I was buying older ewes. We had a massive clear out last year at the back end. Everything, long in the tooth, broken mouth, or away. We bought in kind of 2 crop gimmers, pretty expensive gimmers, mind you, but I've got the kind of sheep I want now, and they've scanned well. So just roll on kind of lambing now. But we've done quite a lot of floors to improve it for sheep. Winter grazings, dairy farms, it's a great grass, but they want them off kind of December time, which is fair enough. And before they were coming in the shed on straw and feet problems, just it was torture. So been talking about and looking at these sheep slats for ages, and we went for it. I'd say it's the best thing we've ever done.
Really?
Phenomenal. And
I'm going to do some next year, mate. I like yours.
Yeah, seen it.
We'll put a picture up. Anyone watching YouTube, we'll put a wee picture or a wee video up of Jordan's.
It's something different. It's I was really kind of sceptical how it was going to work and the size of them. And the first day we ran them in, we're deliberately. It's an old cattle shed that we've went from cubicle to cubicle, so the scraper can still work underneath.
Right. Okay.
And initially we were going to have the lambing pens up the side, but we've kind of scrapped that. It's too slippy. Initially we're going to lamb them and everything on that, but it's not going to work. But it's fine. It's held them in the centre on the slats. And we put the water at the top and some molasses, and then down the bottom through into an old wee shed with a feed trailer, just tight down the bottom so they wouldn't all kind of lie in that shed.
Yeah. Okay.
It worked a treat. They would have an eat, fill their belly, and then walk up, have a drink, and then lie down.
Yeah.
And I've got a camera in the shed, and it was phenomenal. The whole lot of them were through. You'd have 140, 50 all lying in the slats.
Really?
And they were clean. Their feet have been good.
Yeah, that's a big one.
And you can work the scraper underneath,
Save a fortune in straw.
Aye. I mean,
These will be these Fowler's slats. From James Carlisle.
Yeah.
James is a good lad. He's
very
helped me
good.
out a lot.
Been great. Really helpful because it wasn't a standard size passage, so they fabricated the beams accordingly.
Oh, he made them too.
Yeah, they're all cut accordingly. And,
That's brilliant.
we'd do a wee bit of fabricating ourselves to lift them up higher. But great system. So really now, I should have done it earlier on. Talked about it for years, and I should have done it before. But this year, most of the lambs usually at floors are away come August. So my plan is then I'll buy in 200-300 store lambs because I've no money coming in from August till May. Because it's too much.
It's heartbreaking. But why don't you just keep your own lambs and finish them? Are you taking you selling your store?
That's everything finished. No,
everything?
everything's finished.
Right, okay,
everything's finished at floors.
Oh, do you straight onto the hopper with them all?
Hopper fed. I know a good feed rep, So.
Of course.
So
wish I did.
No, everything's hopper fed. From really 3 weeks old, because I need them off.
Yeah,
I need them off.
Yeah.
Money in. So this year I'll buy maybe 300 store lambs, hopper feed them, a bale of straw, and do the same again. Cash them in Christmas time.
300 store lambs. That's 40 grand straight away. The way it'll be next year.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
But at least they're a short turnaround.
Turnaround.
Cattle's a massive.
But I've got cattle in Airbnb, and the same scraper for that side works on the other side. So before, if you've nothing on there, it's just rubbing on concrete. So it's better to have something in that's working so. Aye, so that's the plan with that,
And with the cattle Airbnb, do you do anything? Do you do the work for it?
Why can I just ask you both just did that there? Why are you both saying Airbnb? You said you've cattle in Airbnb, and then you said with the cattle Airbnb.
They've booked in.
Airbnb's branding is so good. We don't even say B&B anymore. We just say Airbnb.
something new.
Anyway.
Something new. There'll be an add-on next online. You know what I mean? Cattle housing.
Yeah.
No, before I did do a lot of the feeding and that. People have got it now. They do it all themselves, kind of thing. I just kind of have a walk around them, have a nosy, and deal if there's any problems with frozen pipes and silly things,
so you don't actually
scrapers
have
breaking
to...
that. But no, I don't really have to do anything with them. Just make sure they're upright and eating. Like,
It's good for the cash flow as well, eh?
I was just going to say, there's quite good money in that.
We have some in the slats. Oh, crazy money.
Is there?
Aye. It makes you just wonder why...
Like, what kind of money?
Oh, like, it depends what you're doing. Like, if you're putting slats, if somebody will tell me I'm wrong. Like, if you're providing the feeding on slats, I think it's about a tenner. Or plus, £12.
£12 you can
Aye,
be like,
For
and then if
how
it's
long?
per week, that is, per head per week.
Right.
But, like, if you're just taking the cattle in, you'll be looking at about a £5
Per cow per week.
per cow per week.
you're not really
And
doing
you're literally doing nothing.
giving them water.
Well,
You know.
well, you're providing them a shed that's costing you an absolute fortune to buy.
Yeah,
but
no,
that's
I know.
essentially,
Yeah.
Oh, like, you can absolutely understand why, like you're saying, that, like, I can totally understand why, you know, there'll be some farmers, maybe with nobody coming through. They're absolutely quite right. Like, if they can just rent the shed out and the man next door does the work, and that's your pension,
Yeah.
like, it's a no-brainer. Why would you move it? You know?
Yeah, it's true.
Look, it's and I don't expect them to. Like,
No.
they're quite right.
No,
You know?
it's handy. You know, money coming in, you've got slurry as well for putting out. You know,
Yeah.
and no, that's quite handy. Pressure wash up when they're out.
And you mentioned a good feed rep. What about this Norvite job?
Oh, Norvite, aye. Good.
Is Norvite a big company?
It is. Yeah, no, it's a good company. It's quite a good story to that because, like, I've had no idea about feeding before. I'll be honest. Like, you know, I was all into
what about now?
Huh?
What about now?
I just wing it.
Just hide it better. Aye.
Hopefully nobody's listening.
You just Google it. And
just make it up.
It always says, text me what you want and then I'll get back to you. Hello, boss. This guy's what?
I was a big kind of, like, you know, Kiwi kind of setup. I was all kind of May lambing. I did a lot. Everyone was lambed in May because I was always away lambing elsewhere and lamb mowing in May.
Okay, yeah.
So I was big, like, no feeding. They were getting molasses bucket, kind of nice and simple. And my brother phoned me a day. My brother had this saying I would talk to a stick with a hat on it. You know, I never like that Essex silence. Like, I like to. I'll talk to MD. You know, if I'm sitting standing at the bus stop or whatever, I'm just, you getting on, you know. Brother phoned and says, you want to sell some feeding? I'm like, sell feeding? What do I do that for? And that time, I had the rented ground at Mole Valley, kind of Shield Mains.
Oh, aye.
Right.
So I thought, this is a difficult one. So, spoke to Ross Williams and he says, sell some feeding and that. And I don't really know much about feeding, but he said, we'll teach you and that. So at that time, I had to kind of say to John Ferguson, like, you know, I've been kind of offered a job in Mole Valley. Not Mole Valley, sorry, Norvite. And he actually said, I could give you a job at Mole Valley. And I said, I don't know, give it a try. But he was very understanding.
Yeah.
You know, he could have just kicked me off his land and said, no, get to. But it was quite understanding. So yeah, just went from there. It's been very good, like, you know, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Is it?
Oh yeah, I mean, still learning all the time.
Right.
I've got some great nutritionists. Matt Palmer, like, I've got him speed dial, like, and his nutritional kind of, you know, expertise is amazing. You know,
But until you, Norvite, is it, and obviously you've made it, there's a lot of people use Norvite through you down here. But I tell you, where is it actually based? Because I'd never heard of it until you.
so it's that Ochiltree, Howit's, Big
But
Mill.
it's actually based there.
Yeah. So
Norvite
the
is?
main base is Aberdeen.
Aye.
Yeah,
okay,
but we've
aye,
got a
so
mill in
Yeah.
Ochiltree.
Yeah, okay.
The original mill was actually where Mole Valley was, Shield Mains many years ago.
Aye, I know.
yeah,
Yeah.
so,
I mean, I didn't even know that wasn't Mole Valley anymore. So it's Norvite now.
No. Mole Valley's still there. That Norvite used to be there.
And now
Okay.
it's
Years ago,
Ochiltree.
it's Ochiltree now.
Right. Okay. Sorry.
I'm getting confused here.
Yeah. No. That's
You just
me
need to put my
confused.
name
I thought it was
up.
still Mole Valley. Yeah.
So what is your job? Like, what do you do? Do you go about the farms?
Yeah, feed advisor. You know,
But you don't cold call folk, do you?
Nah,
Cold knock?
I don't really. Nah, gone are the days. You know yourself. You go into farms, you're too busy.
Yeah.
You're always doing something.
It's not for me.
Like, I see people at the market out and about.
Yeah.
Yourself, you know, they say to you, you're needing some decent feeding, you know, and it kind of goes from there. But it's great because Norvite isn't really just specific on, right, you have a 16 and 18 and that's it. I mean, we do have off-the-shelf feedings in the bay, but we can tailor make so many different blends, minerals, specific to sheep, cattle, silages,
Hens.
hens.
Got a story about that. There's
right.
Ramsden Farm just next to. Jordan and I used to stay in the same house. Weirdly,
Yeah.
it was him that the house at Warwickdale that I was in was Jordan put me in there. so along the road, Ramsden,
Yeah.
who we need to go on this podcast because they have a fantastic business with the eggs, but they wanted a non-soya, like responsibly sourced or whatever they call it. Sustainable feed for their chickens. And they said to me at Norvite, they tried a few companies and Norvite was the one that could tailor make it to suit them.
Wow.
And that's how it was a Norvite lorry come in actually the day we were filming with Landlord.
Right.
I was like, oh, I'm a mate works for that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, that dick.
But no, it's for instance, like I've got a friend and he said to me, oh, they weren't getting results out of U rolls and that, and I said, right, we don't really have any U rolls, it's all raw materials, all straights. So I just phoned Matt, can we make like a snacker blend? Yeah, I don't see why not. All right, make it at 18%. So it's just all nuts. It's just pure raw materials. And it's amazing how he actually came back to his last year and said at tailing time, and it was Grant Huckman that does tailing and that, and they said his lambs, I think it was about 1,000 roughly, both sides of the water, and one feeding, one our feeding, and the lambs are 2 kilo heavier on our feeding, so they were compared to the competitor on the other side. You know, so we've worked with them, and minerals as well, certain things, problems with feet, we can add zinc in. You know, conception or like getting cattle bulling or sheep as well. I add in oil, omega oils. We can tailor make that. So it doesn't have to be just, we have got your bespoke suckler mineral, finisher mineral, but we can actually tailor make it to specific.
So would that be taken into consideration, like say if they did like soil tests or something and you could see they were deficient in certain things, you would...
Yeah, like cobalt, selenium, iodine.
Can you add that stuff in through the feed?
Yes, you can do. So you get feeding from Norvite?
The lamb feedings from Norvite.
Yeah. Your finisher, they're doing well, aren't they?
He's a good salesman. Do you know what he said? No, we're blending because I do. I see Jordan all the time. I speak to Jordan at least once a week, and we blather about various things because we're on a similar kind of journey. As he says, he's open about talking about prices and costs, and so am I. So we can compare notes. And it's good to have somebody else in the same kind of route. Makes it competitive at times, right enough, but we kind of generally stay each other's way, which works out all right. But he was speaking to me one day, and I was saying about I was going to hopper some lambs, and he said about this.
Should you say what that means? Just
like feeding lambs, so lambs can be grass fed, or you can give them some concentrate as well, which helps finish them off and give them a nice cover. And the buyers seem to quite like it. Anyway, and at this time of year when there's grass short and the grass is poor quality, it gives them a fair kick. I think you said that we've got this lamb finisher mix, blah blah blah, and it's Richard Close is using it. And Richard is a friend of the show. He watches the podcast. He'll absolutely watch this. Richard buys a lot of store lambs and finishes a lot of store lambs. So I thought, well, if Richard's buying it, I'll try some.
You've got the name drop, like.
Aye. Well, Richard often buys my lambs, but although I know I'm trying to finish most of my own, but although ever since Rob Atkinson was winding him up about the $5 luck, he buys them for the $5 luck. I think he's feared to buy them now. But anyway,
but no, like
it's good for enough for him, good enough for me.
I mean,
did they pick through it a bit though? That's what I was going to ask you. Like, I know
they'll pick out the sweeties. You know, like the tasty bits. But they'll get through it. You know, it's like if you had a choice of Haribo's or pasta, you're going to eat the Haribo's before you eat the pasta. You know,
why have you got Haribo's in your pasta? That is the bigger question.
That's true. But it gets them to eat it, like, you know, taste
or
it.
it's like the quality streets, it's always the green triangle.
That's a good example. That's a good example.
But no, like, so your finisher blend has got finishing minerals in that. You know, so like I'm feeding a TMR to my cross house just now, and I wanted something different because my silage was decent, good protein, good energy. But
what percent was it?
So just over 12 protein, 10.7 ME.
Okay.
So it's fine.
What's dairy silage? 15?
Oh, you could be 15 higher. Okay. Doogie's early stuff.
What's Doogie's?
17. His rocket fuel.
Doogie's going to come on. I was speaking to him.
I'm
going to get him on.
Have you got a bleeper for the efforts?
Good editor. Good editor.
But no, it was decent stuff, but I wanted it poked right up because I need them to milk really well. So phone Matt, designs me this easy kind of blend, plenty protein, 20% protein, and I wanted extra minerals in it. So it's 2 bags of minerals to every ton that are in the feeding. So then it's all there. Now I could feed that trough feed and split them up. I'm not really set up for mixing them up, so I'm just feeding half a kilo a head base ration to them all through a TMR.
So you've got a tub mixer thing, have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how are you feeding them that in the shed?
So it's a bit of a. I've got to mix it, dump it in the silage shed, unhook the wagon, go and pull out the trailer, fill up the trailer, put the trailer back in.
Okay. All right. Okay. Because
it's a bit of work, but it's.
But it means you're doing the job right and you're getting.
Well, yeah. I mean,
do you not just make a heap at once, or?
No. It'll heat. You know, the silage will heat and that. Like, and you want to give them kind of fresh.
Yeah.
Stop any kind of listeria.
Aye. Good point.
But no, it's a bit of work, but. Somebody could say, oh, why not putting your singles, twins, and triplets? Yeah, it's very true, but I'm just not set up for that. And I hate this trough feeding, kind of like gorging. You know, I feel like though sheep are not stupid. They'll know, right, we'll get a bag of feed in the morning, and we'll get a bag of feeding at night, and they'll not eat as much, and then they'll gorge. And I think that will in a lot of prolapses, stomach kind of swelling.
Oh, really?
I think personally, so I think. So giving them the TMR, kind of 500 gram kind of base ration for them all should give them enough to produce good milk, hopefully lamb well.
But to flip it the other way, someone's made the point to me that TMR can cause issues with because it's so tasty. TMR's a total mixed ration, so it's mixing silage, oats, everything into this tasty bite. And so someone had said that to me once. It's just so tasty they'll just eat away at it all the time. Because again, in a shed, nothing else to do. And
that's true.
And the thing with that, you're gorging, is competitive. They're fairly even amount they're getting because they're all rushing it.
Yeah,
there's pros and cons. I do think TMR's the best. I will say that.
Yeah,
because I do think you can just balance it out so well, and just keep the condition on a bit. Like I always find my ewes lose a bit of condition in the shed just with it, because we feed ewe rolls and give them haylage, and it probably just is that not testing what the diet actually is. Sudden change of diet too.
Yes, aye.
TMR's
and the protein maybe in your haylage won't be as high as you maybe wanting.
Yeah.
You know, but it's a difficult, and going forward, I'd maybe progress with more sheds. You would have your twins, your triplets, and your singles you would just give a good silage to and minerals, you know, to keep them right.
Yeah.
But I'm just having to wing it.
Well, find out how many hung lambs you've got.
Thanks, mate.
And how many prolapses.
I'll have about 20 kind of students there, you know what I mean? Can help me through it? You know?
Aye.
So, but no, it's been good. You learn a lot. And you meet a lot of different people, you know, through feed companies, mineral companies, all sorts.
Yeah,
it's great.
How much a discount do you get?
Not much.
No?
I need to work on that, you know. I maybe need to get my sales
I'm
up.
not even trying to catch you. I'm not even trying to catch you because I'm
no, they do take something off it, like, you know. But
of course,
the raw materials are expensive. There's not masses in it.
Well, and it's a competitive industry, so I mean, I don't know what the margins added onto feed is, but I'd imagine it's pretty tight because you're competing against. You've got you guys, Tarf, Cars, Davidsons,
big
Campbell's.
Aye. It's really
it's a saturated market.
Aye, it's very difficult. We're just raw materials in a mixer wagon, so there's nothing. Like, you take a handful, you can take out your maize, barley, dark grains, everything. You obviously you roll, so that will get grinded down through a dye. You know, lots of molasses, but they work for different setups. You know,
that was a wee snide dig at.
Snide
dig at Euros there. Did you see that? Lots of dye, fake additives. Snide.
The bit target after me now. For different purposes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Euros, I think, I can't go buy Euros for feeding out on the ground.
Feeding out on the ground, aye.
They're a great invention.
We do...
Snacker, great.
Aye. We do a similar kind of, it's just all like nuts. And I did have a guy say to me, it'll get lost in the grass, but it works well for them. You know? But no, everyone's got a different setup.
Yeah.
You know, dairy parlours all want nuts, but I've got some parlours that actually put a blend through the parlour. And it works great. But then people say separation going through the auger to the mangers. So number 1 might get different from number 10 or 15.
Oh, you think the heavier stuff falls out first, like, or?
Aye.
You're talking about separation or like the protein pellets and whatnot?
Yeah, some might, but you know, I've got customers that work away with a blend that works fine. You know, they've no kind of noticing any difference in dropping milk and what have you. But it's just down to price, down to what you're looking for. You know, you know, even I do use pellets for pet lambs to start them on feeding to get them to eat. Yeah. Then once I get them eating, I'll put them onto a blend. You know, kind of barley blend.
You can get those good pellets with the colostrum in them, like they're
kind of milk powder.
Early bite or something they're called. Yeah. They're good, so you can get pellets for pet lambs that have like milk powder or something.
Because you smell them, and they smell lovely. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, there's all different ranges out there for everyone. Everyone does it different, you know. So, but no, it's been a very good company to work for. I learn a lot, meet a lot of people. all walks of life. So no, something different.
Most foragers don't supply sheep and cattle with enough cobalt, copper, iodine and selenium, critical to digestion, immunity, reproduction and growth. When it comes to supplementation, there's a danger of under or oversupply. But when bolusing with Animax Tracesure, you can be sure every animal has enough for up to 6 months in one single application. Animax, giving what it takes.
I take it as a future. You take more ground on now. You're always looking to expand.
Always looking to expand to an extent, but obviously I do South in the estate as well, so I have got kind of a lot to do just now. But no, ideally I would take on more ground.
And South Ann Estate is what?
South Ann Estate down in Fairley, Montgomery Farms, about 5,500 acre organic farm.
Oh.
So yeah, no, good big setup. There's about 3 different kind of farms of all amalgamated into one.
Just sheep and some hill cattle.
Sheep and ling cattle on the hill. I know that Miles Montgomery's doing a lot of kind of regenerative farming. Trying to work, what kind of the grass and the soil health and what have you. So no, it's good. Like it's good.
I feed the cattle out in the hill, do you?
Yeah. So we give them bales out in the hill and then free access minerals.
It's great having a big scopy bit like
great.
cattle out in the hill. I think it's just such a way forward. Save a fortune.
They're happy.
Healthier.
They're content.
Yeah.
You see them at times. You go up there on a windy, blowy day, and they're sitting up in the ridge, looking onto the water, just chilled out. Chewing the cud. And you think it's bloody freezing, but they're just sitting there happy. The wind's blowing through their hair.
Even so, like us on the coast, like you'll hardly get snow there, do you?
No, not really.
Like,
no. You'll get it for a day and it's away.
Like Ayrshire, all right, Muircut's different. Muircut does get it hard. And to be fair, we're sitting in Sturton here. It can get some bad weather too, just where it is. But like round Kilmarnock, Ayr, down the coast at West Kilbride and all these bits, we do have it pretty good. Like, we don't get a lot of snow.
No.
All right, we're wet, but
it's wet, but no, you don't really get it too bad. You know what I mean? And we roll bales out in the hill for them. Which can be good fun because if it doesn't roll out, it's just a big bundle going down. But they get to it. But we're not feeding them masses. Like we don't want them too fat.
No,
out in the hill. Like it's just enough to keep them.
Will they calve just outside? They'll just calve outside?
Yeah. So they'll come in off the hill, kind of March time,
right? Into the shed at the bottom and just.
I know, just into and by ground to keep an eye on them. No, they don't get kind of any special treatment. Like just in by, just keep an eye on them. We give them powdered minerals with rock salt. Just to keep their kind of energy levels and any deficiencies right, and they work away themselves.
Are they pure lings?
Pure lings, yeah, all pure.
Pedigree or?
There will be pedigree, but we don't kind of follow we don't keep it going like.
And just keep some replacement heifers and
some replacement heifers, sell bullocks, store, and we do keep some bullocks for ourselves that we'll sell, kind of local to some local people.
Oh, you finish a couple like just off the hill?
Yeah, just naturally. Some will be 30 months.
Right, okay.
And Andy Woodburn will, butcher them for us. And
we know Andy.
We
He's
do.
the man.
We're very good. So always good banter.
Yes.
But they are very tasty.
Yeah.
The meat.
Well, naturally done like that, eh?
I know.
They'll be fit as well.
I was always kind of a bit sceptical at being kind of chewy. But the flavour's amazing. Really, it is actually. It doesn't work for everyone keeping them over 30 months, but we can put them out in a bit and let them go
works
on.
For that.
But no, it is tasty. It is very good. So no, we do that and then store lambs off the blackies.
Yeah, everything just away.
Yeah.
What about your kids? Have you got what ages are they?
Yeah, so I've daughter Florence, she's 8, and Monroe 2. We call
They're lovely names.
We call him Mad Max. He's wild, like.
Is he?
He's just a
Monroe is a fantastic name, isn't it?
It
Yeah,
is.
that's a really good name.
Yeah, so Monroe and Florence is big into kind of horses and what have you.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry to hear that.
It's downhill.
But you don't she doesn't actually have a horse, though, does she?
No.
She goes horse riding.
She goes horse riding. That's even more expensive.
But in a weird way, it's better because they can change their mind, or you can you can get out of it. But these horses, man, they live like 20 years.
I know.
If you buy them a pony, man, it can live like 20 years.
Dad got me a donkey instead,
Right.
and it's satisfied.
And that cured
it.
it. And you lost interest
And then I
after a
lost
year.
interest, and then we sold her.
Oh, you sold the donkey?
Aye, but no, when I was leaving home.
Okay, that's not so bad. But you can donkeys again?
Oh,
could
the
last
donkeys,
bloody 20
40?
years.
No, they're
Oh, is that right?
40, 50 years.
Right.
My God.
And she used to honk at my bedroom window in the morning to get me up.
He's
to
a
go
long
and feed her.
clocker.
Mad,
Yeah.
No, so she's mad keen, and to be honest, I've tried to egging her away from it. But she's mad keen. She'll come out lambing time. She'll come out, stay, and loves it. You know what I mean? And she's great. Kind of banter because she's come lambing for years since she was a top. We used to actually push a lamb in the lambing shed in a Safeways trolley with straw. You know, and pet lambs back.
Do you even remember Safeways?
Very vaguely.
Yeah.
So push her about a trolley in the shed, and she was great. Like, and I mean, she won't come into the shed and Dad needs to catch that one and lamb it. You know, I'll be like, come on, catch it. You know, and she wants to get in.
That's great, yeah.
So no, it's great. You know, she loves outside and that. She's just getting to that age now. She's gonna get sassy. You know, kind of
getting a bit of attitude.
It's more with her mum. She will do it at meet times, but she's not too bad. Like,
yeah.
Monroe,
But mums get it the worst because they're there all the time too.
It's true.
Ken the boys like with Lizzie too. It's like.
I'm out
they're
farming.
just so cheeky and plus they know they outnumber her too.
I'm like too soft because she'll be like, "Oh, Dad," and I'm like, "That's fine." Just
Then you're making mum the bad guy.
Yeah. So
Dad said I could. Dad let me do it.
Yeah. Then you get it.
You'd be better just getting hassled. I know, mate. Listen, but they're right.
Totally. I'm a big softie.
I deserve everything I get. I accept that. Like Lizzie bloody works away all day with the wains,
It's
tearing her mental health apart. So I deserve any row I get. I take it.
Yeah.
And Monroe's just at a stage. He's wild. Like, you know, he was great. He would come out all the time in the backpack, lambing sheep out in the hill. No bother at all. But he wants now to drive and. It's just you can't keep an eye off him.
We were scanning sheep today, and Jock's in, and he's wanting to spray every sheep, and then he wants to push every tally button, and then push every random button. I don't even know what the buttons in the scanner do. He's pressing all these buttons. It's a weird thing. You have this mad computer thing for scanning, and it's got hundreds of functions, but I only know like 2 buttons. Like I know how to zoom in and I know how to reset the tally. That's it. There's all this other mad stuff must be for cattle or pigs or something. I don't know. But I just know my 2 buttons, and he's pushing and putting them in all these settings, and I'm like,
but it's great. It's great.
But then Mum's loving it because she's like, "See, that's me." See, you've got to pretend you're not like you're loving it.
Yeah,
and like, this is easy. This is easy.
Great having the wains involved.
The rascal.
The blood pressure's bouncing.
I'm absolutely. But because if you give in anything, Mum knows. She's like, see. Now you know what I've got to talk about.
But you don't want to knock it. Like, you don't want to, Ken, because it's great. Like, you know, I mean, he's black market and he's wellies. He wears his wellies to
black
nursery.
Market is a great
he wears his wellies to nursery all the time. And like, he loves to drive. He'll go, Dad, we'll go up the hill. So we'll drive up the Moor Road and he'll check the cows and what have you. But he goes into the nursery and that's what we're talking about. Cows up the hill, cows butt heads. You know,
so nice.
It's great. Like, you know what I mean? And when they come home and he'll eventually eat his staple diet of just chicken nuggets and chips, like, you know what I mean? You know, they do sleep well, like,
same.
You know, but that's my phase, like, you know, it's like anything else. No, chicken nuggets or a Happy Meal. Yeah. I mean, actually, like, it's amazing. Like, you can drive along the road and the next minute you go, Dad, happy, and you're going, what? And McDonald's, he's clocked it from a mile away.
Mine says chips, chippies. Chippies.
Really?
I when they see it,
you know?
You see the M.
And then if you don't do it, you start crying and just like, right, we'll just go in.
Yeah.
That's because you really want a chicken wrap or a Big Mac anyway. It says chippies, but those are really good at eating beef.
Oh, right.
So like I have in my head, I can't get them to eat bloody veg. Like just can't get them.
No, just not interested.
I just throw it away or spit it. I'm not interested. Even though we eat veg every meal, so it's not like they're getting a good reference of it.
Yeah.
Anyway. My thinking is if I'm getting them eating plenty of beef, like there's so much goodness in beef.
Would they have soup?
Oh, we don't really do soup.
That's a good one to get the veggies in.
Lizzie's funny about soup, weirdly.
Oh, is she?
Just one of her weird things. He doesn't really like soup.
Really?
Never really tried them with soup. Like,
I don't think to get the veggies
I don't think he would do it.
I do it with the nieces, yeah.
Well, he's at nursery and I think July he goes to, you know, his funded kind of place, and they provide the lunch, so he's either going to go hungry or he'll have to eat what's there, like, you know what I mean? So that will be interesting. Like,
Lizzie will read the report for nursery, like, Angus ate all his vegetables today and all that, and Lizzie's like, did he?
Basically lodged them.
Aye. Sounds like a copy and paste job.
Yeah, like his plate might have been empty, but they weren't. He didn't
yeah, he didn't eat them. Yeah. Someone ate them, but it wasn't Angus. But the wains is that's
it's good. A good fun. Like, they come basically. I've not adapted our life around them. They just got to come with us.
Yeah.
You know, they come in the truck. You know, they'll sit in the tractor, and there's certain things like, you know, we can't do if they're there. Like certain things, feeding cattle is just too dangerous. Like, but my daughter, like, she was out on Sunday morning milking with us.
Was she?
She'll come out and do the calves, and no bother at all. Like,
That's
you know, she'll
great.
sit there in the tractor and filling the wagon. But it's amazing how over time she used to sit in the Merlot at the side and have loads of room. We're laughing on Sunday morning, like 4:45 in the morning. She's like, Dad, I don't fit. I'm like, you do fit. You do fit. Like, you know. But
just because she's bigger now.
she's bigger now, like, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, geez, next she's gonna be saying, Dad, come on, do it. You know,
I'll
do it. You know. But no, it's great. And the funny thing was, when she said, like, you say to her, right, you come in the milk. Yeah, I'll come. It's amazing how they're up before you. She came through at 3 o'clock and she's like, Dad, is it time for milk? And I'm like, tapping the phone. I'm going, it's 3 o'clock. I'll be back to bed. You know, next minute alarm goes off. She's dressed like that. If it's Monday morning for school, it's like Florence got up. She's like, 2 minutes. And then you try and get her dressed, and she's like watching something on TV, eating her Nutella and toast. It's like, Florence, you need to get dressed. We need to leave in 5 minutes. You know, you've got hair to do and teeth to do and that. You know, but to go to milking, out the door.
Because she wants to.
To be fair, I was like that.
Because she wants to, yeah.
Aye, like I could get up for lambing or whatever, sheep up, no bother. But then if it's like school, it'd be like,
A fight.
just snooze again, come through, covers ripped off. Like, get up now, taxi's coming. Right. But it's all part of the fun.
It's all good fun.
But see the morning, I'm conscious of time here, man, because like, we've done
That's flowing in.
we've done an hour and 15 minutes already. Again.
That's absolutely flowing.
Hopefully, the listeners feel that way too. It's
They've
absolutely
always
flowing
sleeping
in.
like.
No, I mean, some wide variety of topics is brilliant. But like morning milkings, I just think are an absolute gem for people both looking for additional income, like especially just now when times are tight, interest rates are up, mortgages are dearer, cost of living. I just think a morning milking is an absolute gem of a thing.
Oh, it's great.
Because like you could go and milk coos and then go and do your work.
You could, like, I've done it for years and years, and I remember friends of mine who were just sheep boys, right? And in the winter especially, you know, it's dark till 8, 9 o'clock, you know, and then it'd be dark again at 3 or it'd be foggy, and I still had this milk in the morning and the afternoon and done my sheep work during the day. So you still had money coming in where I speak to boys and they'd be like, it's too foggy, we can't go gathering. God, it's 150 quid they're not getting. Whereas I still had a morning milking an afternoon. Don't get me wrong, times in the summer when it's scorching, sun was out, you think, I need to go milk cows, roasting hot parlour.
That was absolutely, it was the worst.
That's the worst at times. Like, but really now I'm just
go away for the silage.
You miss the buzz of buzzing about in a tractor to have to come into a stinking parlour and flies buzzing about. But no, I really just kind of do mornings now, and it works great. I'm home to the kids to school, had my breakfast, and then gone with it.
That's great.
You know,
That's
don't get me
really
wrong, 12 o'clock comes in lunchtime and you want to be 20 minute snooze, like, but it's great. And boys, there isn't milkers out there. Nobody wants to do it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I just think it's such a
I think the young ones would want to do it.
It's getting out of their bed.
But I don't think. But I don't think youngins. Not so much youngins. I would think more people like my age, like who have a job and need some additional income.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Like we'll see the amount of freedom it give you. I was working at roughly. Remember we said this in a podcast recently. I thought if you milked every morning, you don't need to milk every morning, get every second weekend off or whatever it is, but you do just about every morning in a month. You're easily going to bring in an extra grand a month. Like are thereabouts. Like, think what that could do. If you're listening now, think what that could do to your fight. And there's morning milkings out there. You'll get them. Like,
loads of them. Gosh, everyone's looking for somebody to milk. Yeah, every farmer wants a morning off for a long while. They're getting up for the last 3 years every single morning, you know. But no, it's great. And there's not much to it. You've always got somebody in there that knows to look out for a cow with mastitis, a cow no well.
Oh, if you're just the plus one, then you're laughing.
No responsibility.
No responsibility.
Yeah.
Fling the units on. And
put the units on, look for the ones with the tape in the leg or the tail or whatever.
Yeah.
And ask, what did they know? And you're sorted.
But usually you kept going before you know it. It's finishing up time, you're washing
They're
up.
the best ones. See the parlours that are set up that, like, you know, you're always doing something. Like, don't get me wrong, I've not been in a lot of parlours, but that's what I really liked about
Is it Bottoms?
Tam Smith and the Bottoms. It's like flat out.
Rapid exit.
Rapid exit. Is it 20 aside?
Be about that.
20 aside, rapid exit, swing over. So there's only 20 units.
Right, okay.
You're
There's
getting another
40
20
cows.
ready.
There's 40 cows in at once.
Okay.
So while one side's milking, you're cleaning all the other side. We've got to get them in. You've got to get that side out. Rapid exit helps so they're out rapid. And clean all the teats.
Yep.
And then as they're finishing up, you're iodine those teats. Units over, start milking that side. It's flat out. And before you know it, I mean, they're done about an hour and a half, 200 odd cows.
That's great.
That's brilliant.
Aye. And then it's so, another thing I like about that parlour is that it's all open plan.
Aye, bright.
So bright and like so you wash it, everything's just gone.
Spotless.
Aye.
Yeah.
There's no bits for the when the coo's shitting, it splatters everywhere.
Yeah.
But when there's no walls, there's nothing to splatter on. It's a real clever design. It makes it easy to finish up and get done. But yeah, so I did say that I might do a morning milking one time.
Maybe I'll do it. I feel like I should do a milking at one point in my life.
There we go. Guys, get in touch. If you're in Ayrshire local and you take Iona in for a milking, give us a shout and we'll get some shots for the podcast. It'd be hilarious.
That would be, I will go and do a milking.
We could just do a podcast for the milking parlour one time.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
For a laugh, eh?
Yeah, I'll do it.
Go to Doogie's.
We're just going to milk with Jordan. Aye, there we
Yeah.
go. Jordan and Doogie. Do you milk yourself at Doogie's or at Twoies?
I usually Doogie's off and it's just me with two others. But no, I mean Doogie do milk.
It's a
together.
3 of you for the morning.
You could have us all. Of a family.
No, but I mean, it's a 3 of you.
Oh, 3, yeah. Oh, you need 3, aye. 25 swing over. And
Jeez,
you've
that's
got
a beast, aye.
You've got there's 2 always in the parlour because time you get to 15, number 1 would be finished.
Yeah.
You know, and the
Yeah.
other side are in and out. But you've got one big lot come in, then you've got your fresh calved, and then you kind of lay my cows out on straw, they come in, and then your low yielders come in. So, but in between that, you've got to set gates for your high yielders to go out, then your lame lot to go out, which are going the same passageway to the shed next to the way the low. So there's
Right,
quite a
okay,
bit of work
logistics.
because if you set the wrong gate the wrong way, they're all mixed
Nightmare.
up.
So you need 2 folk in the pit going flat out, and
Yeah.
then obviously somebody running about sorting the gates and bringing cattle forward.
Yeah, and then
feeding
doing
calves.
doing
and-
calves, putting the wagon in the winter, mixing up the wagon. It's quite a lot to do. So 3, 4 during the week. Sunday it was just me, Florence, and 2 others. So 2 of the boys were in the pit milking. I was doing the wagon with Florence and the calves. And
How many hours does it take in the morning?
2.5 hours.
Starting what, 5 to 7:30?
5, half 7, quarter to 8. You know, I'm getting a wee bit lax my days now. I kind of should be there for about 4:45, but I kind of stoke in about 5, like, you know. So.
Yeah.
So what always happens, you find that once I've been employed a couple of years, once they know the farmer's desperate, like,
Yeah.
what's he going to do? We were literally having this argument. You walked
Oh,
in the door.
no.
Literally, Iona's literally going, wait, Iona said, what you going to do, fire me?
No, I said I would love for you to sack me.
No, don't know. There's times when we're busy and you're like, John, I could do it at 1:45, and I'm like, oh, I know. And I mean, I'm only just down the road, but you know, 4:30 and the snooze. That's the worst thing. And see, I can't function without taking my hot cup of tea with me and a cereal bar. Like, see, if I don't have that, I'm all over the place.
Mate, see,
Yeah.
I always have a 1 snooze, but I actually now I always set my alarm earlier now so that I can have the snooze. Is that not ridiculous?
Yes,
But I'll just set
it
it.
is.
Oh, but I've got like 4 alarms on my phone.
But
you know,
Guys, what are you doing? You know
I
what
do
you
set
do?
about
You
4
need to do
alarms.
the 5-second rule, and literally, as soon as that alarm goes off, count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and get up.
Oh, no.
And see, once it becomes a habit,
But
you don't even
but
think.
see, usually when I hit snooze, it's in an absolute trance of, and I'm like, oh, the only light I can see is this orange bar on my phone, and I'm like,
I mean, it's when
I'm like, what's happening? What's happening?
It's when you've got kids as well, and you're hanging out the bed because you're youngest or somebody's in the bed. You know, just 2 minutes. You know, it is at times, and I'm there on time and sometimes early. And forget it's fine. You know,
You're something. No, listen, I think that's been good chat. Is there anything else you think we
Great.
should? We're going to do the
Quiz.
quiz that we always do, Jordan. Is there anything else you want to add, or
No, thanks for having me.
any other feed companies you want to slug off? Or?
Steady now. I've been a hitman after me.
Yeah, you're fine. I think you've scuttled.
No,
round it
everyone's
very
got very good feeding, like, you know. But you know, Norvite, give me a shout, you know.
Yeah, there we go. We will put
Oh,
Jordan's contact details in the show notes. Maybe know your number, will we? Just put your email address or something. Or you want the number in it?
They're both the same, yeah.
Right, put the phone number in. Then if you need somebody for feed or just want to have a chat with him about anything, then
I don't know if he's offering that.
Why not?
Chat about
No.
anything
If you want to
at
buy
all.
something from the man, phone. If not, do not phone. Don't know, I'm looking at this phone here. It's pointing at him. Looking at you. Okay, business only. What we should just be, we're saying business only.
Go on.
Do you think he's got a fantastic head of hair for a man that gets up every morning to milk cows?
Yep.
Like,
Yeah, he does.
How dark it, like, just for
What
men?
time do you go to sleep?
Oh, quite bad at times, like.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, he's been sleeping. He's been sleeping half
I
the day.
thought, see
It's
when
like
that Yellowstone,
midday.
Yellowstone was on, I was up to like 2 a.m.
You're joking.
Oh, I just get addicted to it. And then you'd be
You're joking.
you'd be sitting at 11 o'clock and you'd be like,
Oh no.
right, I'm just going to watch this one. And then Beth, a big rip, would do something, and then you'd be like, oh, I need to watch the next
Oh,
one.
it does have a good
And it-
cliffhangers.
And then before you knew it, oh my God, it's 2 o'clock, and I'm up in like 2 hours, like, you know, so, but it was addictive. you know.
I know, but
So-
mate,
I
that's
never
mad.
watched
I get like pure anxiety if it's
No.
like 11 o'clock and I'm not in my bed.
No,
Like,
no, I'm quite bad
Yeah.
at times. Like, no, I mean, we're
La-
trying
last-
to get into a kind of routine, but
Last night we were sharing to nearly midnight and it was like, I was like, I'm going to regret this. But to be fair, it was fine. I had to be lying.
Did you? Nice.
Half 7 this morning. That was all right.
I'm trying not to
Alright
go on my
for some.
phone. I'm trying now not to go on my phone after 9:30 at night. 9:30 p.m. I'm trying not to go on
That's
my phone.
when we do most of our work for the day when I get in at night
I
and
know.
I'm like, Iona.
It's a nightmare.
I know, so just
know.
cut me off.
hint, hint.
Yeah, okay. Please sack me. Please sack me.
Please.
Put me in my misery. Okay, so we're going to do this quiz.
Yes. Are you doing? Do you want 2 minutes on here?
Oh, yeah, do me on there, aye. Log me in.
Timed.
Yeah, it's time. 2 minutes, mate. As many questions as you can in 2 minutes.
Right.
Your score to beat is Neil Wilson at 12. We've got the Hoof GP at 10 and me at 9. That's the top 3.
Right.
Again, Pete Mitchell and Wallace at 8. Iona 7. Billy Welsh on 7. Neil Fell 6. Martin
We
Kennedy.
get a
loads
prize for
of
the
sixes.
lowest. Prize for the lowest.
Becca Rennie from Attenburn. Unfortunately for Becca, the questions did not fall her way, so she is down there. She'd be very glad, I think, if you did.
I might do.
Now, are we ready, Iona?
I'm ready.
Right.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Who painted the famous artwork Mona Lisa?
Rennie's Charles McIntosh.
Leonardo da Vinci. Which famous scientist formulated the theory of relativity?
No idea.
Einstein. Which planet is known as the red planet?
Pluto.
Mars. What is the tallest animal in the world?
Giraffe.
Yes. What is the capital city of Canada?
Vancouver.
Ottawa. Which river is the longest in the world? Longest river.
The Clyde.
Nile.
Good guess.
Which novel?
I'm definitely in that bottom one.
Which novel begins with the line, "It was the best of times, it was the worst of times"?
No idea.
A Tale of Two Cities. What is the largest organ inside the human body?
Largest organ. The liver.
Yes. What is the rarest blood type in humans?
A. Blood group A. Is it A plus?
AB negative. Which African country was formerly known as Abyssinia?
Zimbabwe or something.
Ethiopia. What is the name of the
Time up
famous
yet?
Austrian composer who wrote works such as Symphony No. 9 and Ode to Joy?
What
Think of
composers do you
any
know?
composer.
I have no idea.
Like, you'll know this one.
Just pass if you don't know.
Picasso. No. I have no idea. My dad listens to all that stuff, but
Beethoven.
Beethoven.
What is the name of the largest canyon in the world located in the United States? A big canyon.
No. No idea.
Big canyon. Grand Canyon. What is the name of the largest island in the Caribbean, which is known for its beautiful beaches and vibrant culture?
Bahamas.
Cuba. What is the name of the famous American author who wrote the novel Moby Dick?
Roald Dahl.
Herman Melville. What is the name of the largest?
I hope there's a prize.
What is the name of the largest river in South America, which flows through Brazil, Peru, and Colombia?
No idea.
Amazon.
Time.
I'm on there. I told you I'd be there.
2.
Two.
Becca will be
I'm
happy.
so happy for Becca.
Becca will be
That's
happy,
nice
mate.
for Becca.
Think about that.
Yeah.
I done it for Becca. Like,
Yeah,
You
no,
you owe me a drink. Like, you owe me a drink.
Did it for you, Becca. Some man. No, listen, there'll be folks screaming at the TV there with some of them, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Did
I
you
know.
think
I'm
some-
not really good at that kind of thing. Like,
No, but there's not-
Never a pub quiz kind of.
Mate,
Nah,
some folk
fair
aren't they?
enough.
Look at the list of names, like, you know, it really is just a case of...
There's a lot at 4.
There's a lot. Random general knowledge.
My dad would have been good at that. Like
The main reason we're doing it is we're going to have a quiz final. And
Right.
get our Fed by Farming quiz champion.
I'm definitely
You won't
not
be
on
in
it.
the final.
No.
But it's the taking part that counts.
It's like that dunce hat, you know.
Aye. We should have questions about feeding. You might get 3. Really joking. Listen, mate, it's been great
Thank you.
having you in, having the chat.
for having me.
We obviously know each other very well, so I think it's made for quite a good relaxed chat about various things. And good luck with the farm.
Yes, and you.
And we'll probably see you in speak to you in a couple of days anyway. So
We did check. You're not going to that sale tomorrow, are you? I
no,
was
but
asking the other day.
no, but at Air.
Aye.
No, but I wanted to, but I've got the NFU conference.
have you? Oh,
There's
that's
like
handy.
300 stock cows in.
Yeah.
Are you interested in
Well, I
some
was
of them?
interested, but I was going to suss out whether you've
Well, I was
got
going
deeper
on.
pockets than me. Like, you know?
I'm gonna run up. Hey, Wendy buys all my stuff at Air.
Oh, sorry,
don't worry.
I've made the phone call already. To
Aye,
Wendy.
Wendy sorted you. Shout out to Wendy here.
Yes, thank you.
She looks after the up and comers in the farm world.
Yeah.
You know, well, good luck tomorrow.
Yeah,
then.
yeah.
This will be out after that, mate. So
Oh, that's fine.
if you've got them. We'll slot it in the podcast if you've got any. Right, anyway.
Right,
Thanks for
having
coming,
me.
mate.
Thank
Cheers.
Will we not just end it like I've been Cammy, I've been Iona?
Yeah, we can. Keep that in too. I've been Cammy.
I've been Iona.
And we're all fed by farmers.
Welcome to the podcast where we're harvesting humor, planting delight. Join us, Iona and Cammy. Let's have some fun. It's time for